Hi, hello. Good day to you, good people. Happy day, whatever you are, wherever you are. This is me popping back in today to talk a little bit about my seasonal planning process. If you're like, hey girl, who are you? Hello, my name is Portia Michele. I am a business coach and client experience strategist. My work in the world is around helping people run businesses that they actually fuck with and helping them create client experiences that get their clients the results that they paid for. Okay, I am the good life plug. When it comes to the business stuff. And I love the work that I get to do. I've been a coach for the last 10 years, 5 years specifically, coaching service-based entrepreneurs and impact-driven CEOs. One of the things that I am here again today to do is to talk to you all a little bit about my seasonal planning process. So to give you some context and kind of started as to why we're having this conversation, obviously, I'm out to do shit that I fuck with, you know? Hello? Happy and is. And as a business owner, one of the things that I found was like a big dissonance point for people was the running and gunning of entrepreneurship, where feeling like you're always kind of like trying to put a plate down because there's something new and something's always happening and something's always going on. And I found that most people had not planned frequently enough and had not tapped in and adjusted their plan from enough different lenses to have the plan be comprehensive enough to catch everything that was going on with them. And so I started doing seasonal planning workshops for my clients because I'm like, all right, every season we're getting together and making sure that we are running a business we actually fuck with. What is our joy plan? How are we making sure that not only are we going to enjoy this, but the business is going to survive and thrive, you know, while we're in this season? And I started to realize that every season tends to be a little bit different for people in their business. How you do winter and how you do spring are not the same, right? How you do, you know, obviously summer and fall don't tend to be the same. And so I came up with the seasonal planning process. I'm stoked to be able to show it to you. I would love for you, my main goal for this video is that I would love for you to take this information and make a plan, right? Think about this every single season, even asking yourself right now while I sit here and try to surf and look at things for my slide deck. Sit down and really think for yourself, right? What season am I in currently, right? What's the actual season, spring, summer, winter, fall? What season am I in currently? And what is that calling forth for me in my business at the current moment in time? And think about what it was like for you this year, what it was like for you last year, what last season was like. Oh, is there a difference, right? Get present to that and think about what it is for you. I would love for you to take this information and use it to form a plan for yourself. Now, if you don't want to plan alone, neither do I. So I host a seasonal planning workshop every season at the equinoxes and the solstices, because that's how I count the beginning of the season, like the planet does. Okay. So I've got my next one coming up, if you're catching this video, in summer of 2024 on June 21st through 23rd. And details will be in like the Eventbrite somewhere in the description of this video. Probably on the bottom somewhere. I don't know how the YouTubes work all the way yet. But I will put information there for you to be able to join us. I would suggest you join us every season if you want to come plan with some impact-driven dope folks who are actually interested in giving a shit about themselves, each other, and the planet. Come and plan with us. Again, opportunities for that are going to be in the description. But even if you're not coming to join us for a seasonal planning workshop and you're just thinking about your season, please consider the things that I have to say today and see how they can make a difference for you and your business planning. Okay. Now let's see if I can get my slide deck together. Okay. We're going to share the screen. Oh, so many screens to share. Let's see if we can find this present button. We present in the full screen. Y'all bear with me as I'm learning the canvas. I'm trying to get my life together. Slowly but surely, trying to get my life together. All right, I love how we are in the middle of the slide deck. How about we try to make it to the beginning? Hold, please. Hold, please. I didn't promise you a perfect training. I just promised you a training. We give thanks. Okay, let's see if this is better. All right, there we are. Yay! Welcome to the Cultivated Joy Experiment. Again, my name is Portia Michele, and I am a business coach and client experience strategist out to question, interrogate, resource you with the ability to run a business that you actually fuck with, have client experience that you actually fuck with. And I want to walk you all through my seasonal planning process and how I do that and kind of ensure that these things are going to be in place every single season. Now, why are we planning? First things first, planning equals peace. Now, most of y'all are living business-wise incredibly unpeaceful. It's feeling a little bit like this, which is a little bit meta to be on a YouTube, but most of y'all are like this little man running your business on a hamster wheel, right? And wondering why you're exhausted and wondering why you're burnt out and navigating, all of these pieces of running a business if you're not running it with a super huge team and feeling like, and even if you are running it with a super huge team, you'd be putting somebody else on the hamster wheel so y'all can run together. Oftentimes that can be avoided by just making a plan and getting sorted in what kind of plan may be able to support you this season, okay? Now, I'm going to walk you through kind of the three main elements of my planning process. So first, we're going to start by looking at the 7 areas of business, right? These are the areas that I want you to be thinking through and making a plan for every single season. Then I'm going to introduce you to the operating stages, right? So that we can assess how we want to be making a plan for each one of those areas of business. And then I'm going to show you my 4 Ps and how I use the 4 Ps in the seasonal planning process, okay? Let's start with the areas of business. Now, for the Cultivated Joy Experiment and me, Portia Michele, I call kind of the buckets of work that you do in your business into about 7 areas. Those 7 areas are soul work, leadership, marketing, sales, client experience, operations, and finance. Now, seasonally, I would love for you to be interrogating each one of these areas of your business and going, okay, based on the season that I'm in currently, what's needed from me in this area? I'm going to very quickly, go over these areas of business and kind of tell you what I want you to be thinking about and looking at for each one of the areas of business for each season. If you're interested in getting a deep dive into kind of like what this area is, how it works, how you should be thinking about it, I have another video available called the Cultivated Joy Experiment Areas of Business video. Go ahead and search that and get more in depth with what I mean about each one of these different areas. But for now, I want to introduce you to these areas and I want you to be thinking through a plan to make for each season in each area of business. So we start with soul work, right? Soul work really is about what is required for me in this season to thrive, to be nourished. If I have goals that I want to have for my business, how am I taking care of myself in this season to make sure that I can get those goals? What you need in winter, right? The work that you do on yourself in winter when you have more spaciousness and things are more cozy and at home is going to be very different than the work needed for your spicy summer experience to get you more people-y and out there going up to the conferences and going to the events, right? You want to be thinking through, how does my self-care regimen and soul work routine need to shift for what's being called for this season? Next, we've got leadership, right? Which is all about the beingness. Who do I need to be to make sure that my goals are achieved, right? And what's my plan to make sure that I get there? What's different about the way that you need to be approaching that leadership this season, right? Versus other seasons, right? The season that you're in currently. What's needed from you? What books do you need to be reading? What conversations do you need to be having? What kind of planning do you need to be doing? You're doing a very good job, again, by showing up to this video. Proud of you already. What are some of the things that you need to be doing to make sure that your leadership is on point for this season? And who do you need to be to get it done? Right? We can get all lost all day long in what we have to do, but leadership, the portion of leadership in your business, I want you to be thinking, who do I need to be? Right? If I know that this is summer and I am coming into a time where I am going to be going to conferences and I'm excited to be calling in 5 or 6 more clients in my business, in this next season, because I know I'm going to be doing a whole lot of lead gen and nurture. Who do I need to be to actually make sure that happens? Right? Do I need to be courageous? Do I need to be open and receiving, right? Do I need to be curious? What are these ways of being? And how can you be embodying them all season long to make that vibration of that beingness nice and sticky So it becomes really easy to be able to call those things in for you, right? And if we go back to our soul work area, how do you nourish yourself to make sure that way of being is being called forward? Soul work and leadership tend to be partners. And these are things that I want you to be thinking through as you're coming into this season in that department. Next is marketing, right? How are people finding out about you? What is the season for your marketing? Is this a season of a lot of email marketing and social media? Is this a season of a lot of in-person events and speaking engagements? Is this a season where you're starting new campaigns or you are experimenting with different platforms? What's necessary this season in the marketing department for you and your business? Next, marketing's little partner there is also sales, right? How are people finding out about you, right, in the marketing? And then once they find out about you, what's their process of making a decision about whether they're going to be able to buy with you? And what does that look like this season, right? Are you in a heavy sales season? Are you in a low sales season, right? Are you in a sales season, right? If you're finding this in, June of 2024, there's so much going on in the world that people's pockets tend to be a little bit tight. That usually requires that the sales process be longer so that people actually can build up more rapport with you and gain some trust, because it's fishy out here. People are doing fishy things. So they may need to talk to you more. They may need more touches. Have you thought about that for the season that you're in? Have you interrogated it? If you're watching this video and you're thinking about your annual planning, right? What would be different about your sales this year than it would be last year? Be thinking about the season that you're in and what needs to happen in sales in your business for that season. Next, we've got client experience. So on the client experience side, right? What is this season calling for in your client experience? Is this a season where you're going to be onboarding a lot of new clients? And so you're going to be testing a lot of things in your client experience. Is this a season where you've got new offers or products coming out and you're building a brand new client experience? Do you have one in place that's just been rolling for a minute and you're taking data at what's working, what's not working in your client experience? What is the experience of how people, once they have paid to be with you, right? What is that experience that they're having, and what is needed from you to have an experience that you will be proud of, that you'll be excited about from your business this season, and what's required action-wise for you to be able to show up to that? What support are you getting, right? What do you need to learn in this area? These are all questions to be thinking through for the season in your client experience. Then next, I want you to be looking at your operations, right? What is this season for me in ops, right? What platforms do I need to be on? Am I finally gonna go get a sauna girl? Finally gonna watch that YouTube video about Notion? What do you need to learn? What support do you need in the season that you're in? How are you operating all of these areas of business? How are you operating your operations, right? What back end support do you have or do you need to source to be able to make that happen? This could be a season where if you've got 5 or 6 projects in the air, right, you know that the project management of that may be somewhere where it's taking a lot of your time, effort, and energy. This may be a season for that, right? If it's a season where you're actually running, you're out and you're going, right? Like thinking about summer, you're doing a lot, you're in person a lot, maybe you're doing a lot of traveling, you could be doing some speaking, you could be getting on podcasts, right? Doing a lot of the marketing and the sales. So your operations has to be like a little bowl to catch all of the leads that you pull in from here or pull in from there. That's what required. Is that what is required for the operations department for your business this season? Ooh, parched and a sip. The point here is that I want you to take a second and really think about, particularly these next 2 buckets of operations and finance, because they tend to be the things that hold everything else together. What's happening this season that I need to make a plan for? And then what needs to happen in my operation systems and processes to make sure that my result is going to be achieved, right? And ask yourself, how is that different winter versus spring, fall versus summer, okay? Next and last area of business I want you to be thinking through is finance, right? So what money is coming in and money is going out. What does that look like this season? Is this the season you finally file that LLC, girl? High five, get it in. Is this the season where you got to be thinking about a big tax bill, right? Do we need to be thinking about maybe you're opening up something or joining something with another joint venture partner, and now we have affiliate payouts that need to get paid out, or we've added a new contractor or employee, and so now we've got some payroll expenses that need to go out, right? What's your plan for this season in your financial area, and what do you need to be paying attention to? This one more than anyone, kind of like soul work in this piece, piece, you want to be thinking through this season, what do I need to be paying attention to for my finances? Ooh, what do I need to be thinking about for my finances? What is the thing that I want to make sure that I make space for in my finances? And how does that affect the season that I'm in and what's necessary based on the season that I'm in? Okay. So that is rounding out our 7 areas of business. And when we're doing our seasonal planning, what I want you to do is look through each one of these areas of business and really audit, interrogate that area, right? And make a plan. I'm going to show you how we use the 4 Ps for that. But the next thing I want you to do in the audit process of going through each one of these areas of business to get ready to make a plan for each area of business is to think about what I call the 4 operating stages. Now, the 4 operating stages require you to kind of pick a business area to focus on, right? So let's say we think about leadership, think about marketing, think about the area of business that you want to start on. And then from there, I want you to ask yourself, what operating stage are you in that area of business this season? Let me take some water as I think about it. Based on the area of business, right? What operating stage are you in? Are you establishing something new in this area, right? If it's marketing, do you have a new campaign, right? Are you practicing a new sales process? Did you create a new client experience? Are you creating a new spiritual ritual for yourself? Did you finally take that Pilates class, girl? Are you finally getting a CPA, right? Is there something establishing in your area of business this season, right? Because that's going to be very, very different than how you would think about some of the other ones, right? So just to give some context before I go into each one, the reason why we're talking about your operating stage is because I want you to be thinking through what's going to be required of me this season in this area. Well, first we got to know where we are before we know where we're going, right? So this is our ability to be able to audit this area. So one, again, think about it. Am I establishing something new in this area? And are most of the things that I'm going to be doing in this season about establishing something? Then I would label that area of business that you're in an established phase this season, right? Next, we've got stabilize. Now, stabilize means like, oh, I established something maybe last season or last year, and I'm just making sure that it's on point and that it's on flats, right? Maybe you already have a spiritual routine that's working really, really well. Maybe you already have 5 books in the queue that you know that you're reading. Maybe you're getting a coach and you have them for a year, and you're just you're stabilizing what you've already previously established. Now, the ops people will tell you that in between each of these, every time you go to a next level, you're probably stabilizing again. So most of you all likely will find yourself in the category of established or stabilized for most of the areas of your business. Truthfully, that's where I find most people end up. You could be in a season of scale in that area of your business. Now, scale is meaning we are growing it. We have established something. It actually is running super duper well. So well that we are going to be adding fuel to the fire. I had a copywriter before, and now I have a copywriter, a social media editor, and an email marketer, and we are going after an email campaign, right? I had a one-on-one program, and we are going to group, right? We're scaling that same thing, right? I decided to go from organic to ads, right? We're scaling, and you can even consider scale and establish depending on if it feels like something brand new, or it feels like you're in a big growth spurt, tend to kind of be similar energies. The point is that you name to you what it feels like in your body and what it feels like in your business. Of like, oh, this is a growth spurt. I got to treat myself like I'm doing something new, and I got to make sure that I care for myself like I care for myself when I'm growing something, versus, right, I got to care for myself like what I do when I'm at max capacity, right? I'm pushing. We're putting some effort and some energy when we're at the scale level. And again, in between that next, stabilize and scale, before you get ready to contract, you're likely stabilizing again. So you could be in a contract phase. Now, what I mean by a contract phase is that this area of your business is getting smaller this season for whatever reason. It could be because another one of your areas of business is in a scale or an established phase, right? You may be contracting your marketing because you've got so many clients at the current moment in time that you're stabilizing your client experience because it's more clients than you ever took in, right? That may be one reason why that area could contract, right? You may be contracting in your leadership, because you know this is going to be a very heavy sales and marketing season, right? You're getting ready for summer. You know, you're going to be out there. You're not going to be in the house reading books at the current moment in time. So you're contracting the leadership area to make sure that you've got enough space to scale or establish new things in your sales and your marketing, right? Other reasons why you may want to contract an area of business could just be for your life, right? You may be going, all right, I got enough bandwidth to be stabilizing in 3 areas and establishing in 1. And because my kids are home from school, or I've, my partner is moving across the country and I'm getting ready to move with them, or this is my season of rest. And so I want to contract most of the areas of business and only focus on what's going to keep us running really, really lean so that I can have my energy back to myself, right? That may be one of the reasons why you contract. The overarching thing I want you to be paying attention to here is go through each area of business and ask yourself, let me see if I have that here. There we go. Go through each one of these areas of business and ask yourself, am I establishing something, right? Am I in the established phase? Am I in the stabilized phase? Am I in the scaling phase? Am I in the contracting phase? Don't get lost here. If you, like, oh, I gotta, make a chart to list out all my tasks, and not 8 of them I'm establishing, but 2 of them I'm stabilizing, then overarchingly, you're likely establishing something. You really just want to get the flavor, right? It's all ice cream. We just want to get the flavor so that from there, right? What are we doing about that, right? These 2 pieces that I've walked you through already are helping you kind of audit and assess what is current state. Now I want to look at where we're going. Okay. Next, we're going to go over what the 4 P's are and how you can use the 4 P's in your seasonal planning process. We call the 4 P's over here pray, prep, plan, and play. This is my version of check, do, whatever, and adjust. Check, do, plan, and adjust. This is the cycle that we use at the Cultivated Joy Experiment for a variety of things, but I love it in my seasonal planning process. You will see that it is a cycle. It is meant to be a circle. It is meant to be something that you return to and come back to over and over and over again, because your ability to be able to do that every season, right, cyclically, every year, cyclically, will give you a lot of data and insight into how you can continue to do it more optimized, easier, more delicious, better, faster, stronger, all of those things. Okay. Now I'm going to walk you through how we use the 4 P's in our seasonal planning process. First step for us, I call pray. Now, I don't want you to get too lost in this. Don't get too lost in this. If you're not a praying person, don't worry about it. What praying really is about is telling the truth to yourself, right? If you are a praying person, this is your opportunity to tap in, tap up, tap down, and get connected to where all of your wisdom is coming from, where your help is coming from. Call in your guides, call in your ancestors. This is your opportunity to get centered and also get centered with yourself as the inner altar, right? Sit in front of yourself and tell the truth about where you are really at, where you are really at currently, and what you actually want. The thing here I want you to do for each area of business is go, what's the truth here? The truth is that, I ain't really been showing up in my marketing, and that's why people don't know about me. And I probably should put out a post so that people know that I exist. Right? And then what do you actually want? Not what society tells you should want, not what the internet tells you should want, not even what Portia Michele tells you should want. What do you actually want? Well, I actually want, 5 new clients this summer. And that actually would be what would make my business take a breath. I could use 5 new clients this summer. Okay. But the truth is, I'm not marketing nowhere. Nobody really knows I exist, right? Pray is about telling the truth. Take a moment and tell the truth to yourself about each one of these areas of business, and tell the truth about what you actually would want to create in this area of business, and allow yourself to have that be the vision for where we're going, okay? Then next, you got to get yourself ready, and we talk about prep. This is where the 4 operating stages really come into place. Assess, again, where you're at and determine that the stage that you're in. And think about, okay, if I know that the truth is that I really want 5 new clients, right? And the truth is that I'm not doing any of the things that would get me 5 new clients, honestly. For whatever reason, I'm not judging it. It's just happened to be what it is. I'm going to need to probably establish some new processes, new systems in that marketing department. And that's probably where I need to be thinking about for this next season. That's probably going to be the one that's the loudest, right? This is where you assess, right? Think about your operating stages. Think about which ones are you establishing. Think about which ones you're stabilizing. Think about which areas you're scaling. Think about if there are any areas that need to contract, right? And then I want you to go, okay, if I was going to go about this, how do I make it delicious? How do I make it delicious? Okay, it would be really fun if I made video posts. I never did that. And I thought that the long form was boring, or it may be really fun. Start playing in LinkedIn articles. I ain't never played on LinkedIn. I've been on Facebook and Instagram, whatever it is for you. Think about how you're wired. Think about what your geniuses are, and think about the kind of season that you're having. And before you sit and make a plan, what can you do to make it delicious? Right? That's the prep stage. How can you prep for this season so that it's actually a season in your business that you fuck with? Right? You got your operating stages to help you out. You got your pray step to tell the truth about these areas. Really sit in here and go, okay, if I was going to make this a delicious season for myself, a profitable season for my business, whatever those things that matter to you are, right? How would I go about these areas? And go over each one and do that work in that way, right? And then we're going to go into the planning process. From there, I want you to think about what delicious aligned actions are you committed to taking this season, right? Okay, so based on our previous analogy, right, we know that we're not really marketing, right? And maybe the truth was that we're not really marketing because I don't really fuck with how marketing is happening in this world right now. And social media kind of sucks and feels like claustrophobic, and everyone's like lying or doing whatever story you're telling yourself about it, right? That's true for you. That's the truth as to why you're not really marketing. But the truth is that you also really want 5 new clients. And they're not going to find you at your house, girl. So, okay, we're going to prep for it. Now we know that we need to establish some new things in our marketing department in this marketing area. And we know that we're maybe excited about video content because long form seemed boring. And maybe we're excited about LinkedIn because Facebook and Instagram felt disingenuous to us for whatever reason. If I was going to take it from that lens, right, what would make it delicious, right? It'd be something that I did it once a week instead of every day because that was exhausting me, because I know that I'm somebody who has low bandwidth and I have other stuff going on and I want to be outside this summer playing with my friends. So I don't actually want to just be sitting in front of a computer all day long. So those are some of the things that would make it delicious, right? If I go back to this step of prep, right? These are some of the things that would make it delicious. What else would make it delicious in my marketing department? Okay, I'm going to find out some information about LinkedIn so I don't go in blind and I don't know what I'm doing, right? So then I could go into it feeling a little bit confident. That would make it delicious. Now, what are the actions that I'm wanting to take, right? You heard some fall out. I'm going to go on YouTube and look up LinkedIn so that I can actually get some information about how best to go show up and write in a LinkedIn article. I'm going to learn a little bit about video content, right? So that I can, make videos that I feel really good about. I am going to go onto my schedule every single week and schedule time for me to post on social media to have that be the marketing campaign that I focus on, right? Whatever the actions are, right? What are they? And get real clear brass tacks that these are the actions you are committed to taking. This is different than goals to me. Because again, shout out to Steve Bacon for giving me this insight when we were on a client call a couple months ago. Goals can tend to be something that you're wanting to achieve versus I want you to be thinking through the actions you're committed to taking. I am committed to taking these actions, and don't put them on your calendar if you're not going to do them. Let's be real. Tell the truth, right? That's why we pray first. You got to tell the truth. Tell the truth about what it is that you're actually committed to doing, and write those actions down and make it delicious. If you're going to take these actions, what needs to be in place for you to actually enjoy them? Right? What needs to be in place for this to be something that you're going to actually want to do? Now, I know there's some of you all who are like, I don't really get to joy. That's not really my goal state. Like, I don't believe that you can do that running a business. At the very least, let's get less shitty, because less shitty is better than shitty. Right? If you can't get to delicious, let's just get to less shitty. How can I go about this area of business this season to have it be less shitty than I feel about it right now? We can start there. You can start there, right? But the goal is to get it to be something that you enjoy doing so that coming back to it over and over again doesn't feel like a drag, because we know that what you do consistently in your business what you do strategically and consistently in your business well is the thing that brings you the financial outcomes, that brings you the ease and peace of mind in your operations, that allows you to feel confident about what you're doing, but you got to do them with consistency. And if you don't love it, you're not going to do it. Let's be real. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting in front of me. So how do we make it delicious? And how do we make sure that our actions are aligned with the results that we're wanting to produce, aligned with who we are and what we need this season, right? When you're thinking about creating your action steps, don't just make a to-do list. Think about it in this way. Slow down, make it delicious, okay? Once we've got our actions that we're committed to, then it's ready to do the thing, baby. Now we're going to play. From here, right, now is where you get out there and get the thing done. Now, in the planning process, right, because we're finishing out, this is my seasonal planning process. We're ending out our planning process and getting ready to go and play. These are the things I want you to think about is like, what do you need to remember, right? One, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to remember to enjoy it. But what other little things do you need to remember, right? What other little things do you need to remind yourself so that you'll enjoy doing the thing? If you are in any of my programs or memberships and you are in your seasonal planning workbook, right, with this message being in there, this is why in the play section, I write down, what do you need to remember to make sure that you're playing full out and enjoying it, right? I also want you to be thinking through, okay, what last level of support do I need to make sure that I'm playing full out? And I know I have said over and over again, what do you need to learn? What support do you need? What do you need to learn? What support do you need? Because I constantly see my clients and myself over and over and over again underestimate that you are allowed to be supported in your business. Even if you're not paying a coach every single month to get that support, support does exist. It is available for you, and you should allow it in at every single stage of your planning and of your business. I don't know who told y'all that businesses are run by themselves with some little man on a mountain. Most of these companies have hundreds of thousands of employees. You also can have support, and even if it doesn't look like employees at this time for your business, it could look like videos that you watch. It could look like conversations that you have. It could look like rooms that you put yourself in. Support is available. And when you're getting ready to play, I want you to be thinking through, what support do I need? And what do I need to do to be able to source it before I get ready to go run and do the thing, right? Be thinking about that for every single area of your business, okay? Now, we have culminated these pieces, right? These are how the 4 Ps play inside of the Cultivated Joy experiment. But again, these steps are the cycles that I want you to look at for your business in its entirety for this season. And then I also want you to look on the micro of the macro for each area of your business, your soul work, your leadership, your client experience, your operations, your sales, your marketing, and your finance. Do these steps. What's the truth that I need to tell to myself? How am I going to prep myself to be able to do this in a way that I love, right? What's my plan and the actions that I'm committed to taking? And then what do I need to remember and what support do I need so I can get out there and have it be something that I love? And then next season, we come back to the fucking mat, right? Then we tell ourselves the truth again about how did it go? What happened? What would we shift? What would we adjust? And if you can get yourself into a cycle of doing this every season, every year, it starts to become, like muscle memory. You don't even think about it. You're already going like, oh, I got to adjust my prep plan for next season. Oh, okay. I clearly didn't tell the truth to myself enough. Let me go back to the inner altar, right? This will start to become something. And again, I would love for you to invite you into this process. You can name it your own words. I am all about customize this and make it comfortable for your home. Shout out to the Views on the Road girls. Make it comfortable for yourself. Make it something that you're going to love and is unique to you enough to be able to actually do. But do this thing, do these actions every season. Start to get really familiar with these things inside of your business and allow yourself to be really have a much firmer hand in what's calling forward and what's necessary. It also gives you the opportunity to take advantage of the magic of the season. The earth is already doing something that you can go with the flow, or you can try to fight upstream. We can really get these things in place for yourself and your business. You can start to look like, ooh, what are the codes of the summer? And how can I use those codes to hack the results that I'm out to produce this season? Okay. All right. Lastly, just wrapping it up, these were my 3 portions of my seasonal planning process, right? These are the 7 areas of business that I want you to look at, the operating stages that help you audit those areas of business, and the 4 Ps that help you make a plan for a business that you fuck with this season and every season. Now, again, I said, I don't like to do planning by myself. So if you're looking at this like, girl, this is all cute and all, but I don't actually know what I need to be doing in my marketing, or I have no idea how to establish a new area of finance, or I actually am in no way, shape, or form prepared for what would be needed. Am I scaling? Am I contracting? I don't really know. No worries. I do a seasonal planning workshop live on Zoom. You can catch it anywhere in the world on the solstices and the equinoxes of every year. We are going to be gathering on summer seasonal planning workshop on the summer solstice weekend. So the 21st to the 23rd in this hemisphere. I am in the United States in lovely Las Vegas. So that is where I will be doing the summer planning workshop coming up again, June 21st through 23rd. There's details in the description on how you can join us for that seasonal planning workshop. But if you are finding this in any season, again, I run them every season, girl. I run them every season. Come be with me. Don't do this alone. I also do this work in community. So in our seasonal planning workshop, what I love so much about it is that we take, a moment of time for every single area of business to ask questions, to Q&A. You can ask me questions. You can ask the community questions. I usually bring on my business cousins and comadres that are experts in these areas, to be able to answer questions. I am a client experience expert. I am not a finance expert. I am not a sales expert, but I usually bring the homies so that we can start having those conversations. And it allows us to mastermind with the other people who are planning in community together. And then right after that, we put on the lo-fi beats and we get to planning. So you leave the weekend with all 7 areas planned and a firm grip on what this season is calling for you for your business. And I also, because I am now a mini techie girly, even though I'm still figuring out the canvas, I also give you a digital workbook to plan in. So if you come to my seasonal planning workshop, it also includes a seasonal planning digital workbook for your plan to live in that you can come back to and revisit every month to make sure that you're on track, every week to make sure that you're on track, and the next season when you're ready to plan again. So if you don't want to do this planning on your own, please come and join me for a seasonal planning retreat. I would absolutely love to have you. But even if you're not going to come and join me for a seasonal planning retreat, do the plan, right? You've already made it to the end of this video. Again, I'm already proud of you. You've already put your intention and your effort and your energy toward having a stronger foundation for business planning in your business. Take it that next extra step. Pause this video, turn me off, put the lo-fi beats on, girl, and look at all of these areas of your business, right? And think about what the season is calling for from you and how you can have a really delicious season this season, my love, because you deserve it. You deserve to have a business that you enjoy. You're out here doing this work like I am. You also get to be one of the people that you do this work for. And planning will bring you some peace, right? First steps. Remember what I said, less shitty, still better than shitty. All right. I love you already. All right. Sending you so much love today. Sending you so much love in the planning process. If you're like, how can she love me? She doesn't even know me. I'm a Libra. Try me. All right, kittens. Until next time, find out about all the things in the description links below. If, again, you're interested in each one of the areas of business and you're like, what does she mean by that? I did record a video for that. So go ahead and check out that video if you need extra support. Happy planning, my darling. And I will see y'all soon.